Pack up your tent and ride. Good grub cooking on a fire tonight. Pack up your tent and ride.
Hi, I'm Fraser Douglas, and I've been an avid tent camper now for over 55 years. In this video, I want to share some of my thoughts about folding camp tables and how they can make your camping trip much more comfortable. I hope you'll find something of value in this video. But before describing some good tables for camping, let me describe how we typically set up our campsite. First, we park our car on the front edge of the campsite just so that we're out of the campground service road. To avoid animal scavenger problems, we leave all of our food and most of our kitchen gear in the back of our car throughout the entire camping trip. In addition, we have a small piece of plywood that we use as a tabletop for some food prep chores, just like the old chuck wagons. A few feet behind the car, we'll set up our cooking station, usually with a 2-burner propane camp stove, but sometimes with my woody folding campfire stove. Regardless of the stove we select, we'll need a table to support it. And we usually add leg extenders to the table to raise the top to a countertop height of 36 inches. Near that cooking station, we like to set up another table or two where we can cut our fruits and vegetables and mix our ingredients to prepare our meals. If we plan to stay in the campsite a few days, then we'll also set up a kitchen shelter or day shelter over that food prep area. You should note that unlike most other campers, we never set our kitchen shelter up over our picnic table because if we did, the picnic table would pretty much block all of the useful area under the shelter. And you should also note that we never bring our cooler, our non-perishable foods, our pots and pans and utensils into our kitchen shelter. They always stay in the car except when we're preparing a meal or eating it. In the back of the campsite, we'll try to find a high spot to set up our sleeping tent. Ideally, there'll be an elevated tent pad. Most of the time, we don't put a table in our sleeping tent, but occasionally we'll want one there to support our lantern. To the left of our cooking station, most campsites will have an auxiliary area, where you'll usually find a picnic table. On our early camping trips, we didn't have any folding tables, and so we had to use the picnic table for all of our table needs. Now we just try to use that picnic table when possible to eat our meals, wash our hands, and wash our dishes. But in some campsites, that picnic table is either too small or too low or too damaged or too nasty to be used as a place to eat and wash dishes, much less all the other things that we need tables for. So we need to have a table or two handy just in case. Usually we'll just grab one from our food prep and cooking area. Most campgrounds will also have a fire ring in that auxiliary area and sometimes a pedestal grill. And when a pedestal grill or a nice campfire grill is available, we try to cook a few meals over a wood fire. They taste so good. And when we cook over a campfire, we like to have a table nearby where we can put our pots and pans, ingredients, and utensils. We also like to have a table handy for our drinks and snacks when we're just sitting by the campfire. During the day, we use our tables for a wide range of arts and crafts and projects and games. When we break camp, I use the tables to help me roll our tents up so I don't have to stoop down on the ground. And when we're traveling to and from our destination, We may stop along the road at a rest area and pull out one of our tables to have a quick lunch. When shopping for a portable camp table, you should consider at least 6 features before buying one. First of all, you want to be sure your table packs small enough so that you can squeeze it into your car along with your family and your other camping gear. Furthermore, it should weigh less than 25 pounds so that you can easily pack it in and out of your car and move it around the campsite. Second, you want to know the weight capacity of the primary work area. The work area is going to be the part of the table that is strong enough to support heavy camp stoves, large pots filled with water, and heavy cans and packages of various different food ingredients. And it should be strong enough to support the weight of a lot of different food ingredients as you chop them or mix them or otherwise prepare them for a meal. For most tables, that's the tabletop area, but it would not include folding side shelves and lightweight shelves that are sometimes found on folding camping kitchens. Third, you want to know the size of the work area expressed in square feet. Fourth, you want to determine whether the work area is solid or not. If it's not solid, then food and small utensils will drop through the cracks or holes. But if the cracks or holes are small, you could cover the table with a vinyl tablecloth and make it a solid surface. In my opinion, a good camp table should only have 4 legs, and these legs should be round and straight or slightly flared. These tables will be relatively easy to set up, relatively stable, easy to move around the campsite, easy to raise to a countertop height of 36 inches, and easy to fold up at the end of your camp. While tables with other leg patterns will be more difficult to manage. And finally, you'll want to consider the price of the table. And in particular, you don't want to pay for features that you don't necessarily need. For example, some camp kitchen units have a sink, but we don't need a sink because we usually use a big pot and we set up over on the picnic table to wash our dishes. Now, let me talk about some folding tables that make good camp kitchen tables. For many families, a roll-top table is their only choice because it packs into a much smaller area than all the other folding tables. We bought an REI roll-top table about 13 years ago and liked it so much that we bought a second one about 2 years ago. The current REI roll-top table has an aluminum top that measures about 2¼ feet by 2¼ feet to give a little over 5 square feet of working space. It weighs 8½ pounds and has a weight capacity of 100 pounds. The slightly flared legs make it very stable. My primary complaint is that the leg bracing prevents users from putting their knees under the table and thus makes it hard to sit close to the tabletop. A second minor complaint is that the tabletop seems just a little too small. I wish that it were about 2½ feet square. However, you can buy 2 tables, place them side by side, and cover them with a tablecloth to make a larger table. The REI table costs $90, but you can find similar tables made by Coleman for $60, Stan Sport for $65, Cabela's for $80, and Alps Mountaineering for $80. And you can find larger roll-top tables made by Cabela's, Camp Chef, and Mountain Summit. A second type of table that's well suited for family camping is a fold-in-half table. The table is made from 2 pieces that can be opened up to make a large working space or folded together to reduce the packing space. About a year ago, we bought this Red Camp fold-in-half table that has a working space that measures 2 feet by 3 feet. It weighs only 5 pounds and has a stated work capacity of 70 pounds, although it is very stable and I believe that it would easily support 100 pounds. We add leg extenders to the bottom of the table to raise it to a countertop height of 36 inches and use it as our camp stove table. Although it doesn't pack as small as a roll top table, you can see that it's much smaller than a small banquet table and fits easily into our car. If you want a larger tabletop area, Red Camp has a 2-foot by 4-foot, and several other companies sell larger fold-in-half tables. The best camp tables, in my opinion, are small banquet tables, but they require a considerable amount of packing space. Small banquet tables typically have a solid top that measures about 2 feet by 4 feet for a total of 8 square feet of working area that is usually supported by 4 straight legs and will easily accommodate up to 200 pounds. Costco makes a very good 4-foot banquet table that sells for about $65, but you can find other makers that sell them for a few dollars less. When I was younger, we always carried 2 of these tables on our camping trips, tied on the top of our car, but now I'm too old to climb a ladder to get up to the top of the car, so we don't take them anymore. If you want to bake some great tasting meals in a Dutch oven during your camping trip, you may want to pack a steel Dutch oven table so that you don't have to repeatedly stoop down to the ground. We really like this Camp Chef Dutch oven table that cost us about $100 and has removable legs, but Lodge also makes a good Dutch oven table. A folding work platform makes a good camp table because you can also use it to load and unload gear from the top of the car. These platforms typically have a working surface of about 4.5 square feet and can easily support over 300 pounds. So in addition to serving as a table, they can be used as a ladder to reach high spots, as a bench, and for many other tasks around the campsite. At the present time, they cost about $150. Before concluding, let me explain why we prefer simple folding tables to more complex folding kitchen units. While the complex folding kitchen units offer a variety of attractive features, they also have some limitations. For example, simple folding tables compared with complex kitchen units with approximately the same working area usually weigh less and require less packing space. Second, although complex kitchen units frequently have extra shelves, these extra shelves frequently are either too small to perform ordinary kitchen chores or too weak to hold heavy pots of food or other food containers. Number 3, we don't need extra storage space because we keep all of our food and most of our kitchen gear in the car all the time. Number 4, we don't need special features such as a sink because we wash our dishes in a large cooking pot. Number 5, many of these units have extra legs and extra shelves that require extra time to set up, extra time to move around the campsite, and extra time to fold up at the end of your camp. And finally, simple folding tables usually cost less than complex kitchen units. In summary, a plain table or 2 meets our needs better than one of these folding kitchen units. For more information about camp tables and other family camping gear, please visit my website, moderntentcamping.com. And while you're there, check out my Amazon store page where you can find links to many great family camping products.
Take more trips, travel further, visit more attractions, and spend less money. Go tent camping. Thanks for watching.
Go tent camping.